Well, taking a quick stock of how global markets are doing over this week, as well as how Asian markets have started off this Wednesday morning in trade. When we look at how global markets are doing, there is volatility overall, which is largely due to the unknown effect which Omicron seems to be creating. Stocks bounced back from their 3-day rout, and US indices reversed their Monday losses on Tuesday. The Dow jumped 1.6% with Nike and Boeing being the biggest gainers. The S&P 500 gained almost 1.8% as 9 out of the 11 sectors gained. And the Nasdaq, which has been lagging this month, was up 2.5%, almost 2.4% in trade on Tuesday. Reopening plays gained the most, with airlines, cruise lines, and entertainment stocks gaining in the US. And a similar story playing out even in European markets. They followed Asian markets to close in the green on Tuesday, and that comes despite the Omicron overhang in Europe. Mind you, Netherlands is in lockdown and several countries are also in partial lockdown. But travel and leisure stocks jumped 3.5%, with the DAX jumping 1/3%, and almost every index jumping a little more than the DAX. So everyone jumping almost between 1/3% to 1.5%. The DAX, the FTSE, the French CAC, as well as the Pan-European Stock 600 Index. Moving on to how Asia is looking. Well, Asian indices were in the green yesterday, with the Nikkei jumping again 2% plus higher in trade. And that has continued in early trade today, but in a more tempered fashion. The Nikkei is up 0.1%, the Shanghai is absolutely flat, but the Hang Seng is up almost 1%, and the Kospi 2 is up 0.25%. The only laggard today looks to be the ASX 200, which is the Australian index, is down around 0.1% in early trade today. The SGX Nifty 2, which had risen up strongly in early trade today, has now tempered down. It had breached that 16,900 mark, and it's now around 50 odd points down and still up 0.1% in early trade today. So positive cues even for Indian markets broadly. Well, with the rise in global markets came the rise and the positivity even for oil. The demand for oil, or the forecasts, were upgraded, and of course oil is now above that $70 a barrel mark, and it's in fact just below the $71.5 a barrel mark. Gold is holding quite steady at $1790 an ounce. Moving on to how currencies are looking, the dollar index continues to be just below that 96.5 mark, holding quite steady there, and treasury yields have risen. The US 10-year treasuries are now at 1.46%, given the positivity around Omicron. Bitcoin, though, has seen extremely strong gains, up almost 4%, and is now closing in on that $49,000 mark. That's a roundup from our side this Wednesday morning.